Hello and welcome to the new episode of Euro Truck Simulator 2 Road to the Black Sea. Now we bought our trucks, 3 new trucks of our own company, and in this episode we are going to start expanding and gathering more money to buy more trucks, and I hope by the end of this episode we are going to gather enough money for one more truck, so about 90 to 93,000. And also we hired some drivers for those trucks, but I made a mistake in the last episode where I actually gave an instruction to my drivers to upgrade ADR licenses, but it would actually be better in the beginning to upgrade this skill, long distance. Why? Because look at the way how our drivers are paid. So they are paid 366 euros per delivery plus 10.5 euros per kilometer driven, right? So if they deliver, let's say, shorter distances deliveries, if they deliver shorter distances, let's say cargoes, they're going to be paid this 366 more often. So that's going to cost us more money. But if they learn a little bit of a long distance skill, they will be able to pick up jobs that take longer time to deliver, that take longer distance to deliver. Hence, they're going to deliver less of them at a time, but they're going to earn higher bonus for that longer distance, but they're going to be paid more of these, 10.5, than this. So I think in the beginning it would be a little better option for them to learn 1 or 2 levels of long distance driving. I think it's going to be a little bit cheaper for us that way. We are going to earn more and we are going to pay them a little less. But also, let me tell you that I like to combine in one garage. I like to put drivers that have a different long distance driving skill. Why? Because when they have a long distance skill, they tend to pick up jobs as long as possible they can. So if you have one garage, let's see the map. So if you have one garage, let's say in Sofia, right? And if you have, let's say, 2 drivers that have no long distance driver skill, they will go to the nearest ones, just 250 kilometers away. So they will go here, something that's about 250 kilometers, about half of Bulgaria maybe a little more, maybe a little less. But if you give them more skill, they're going to go as further away as possible. So they're going to go to, one skill is 350, one level, another level is 450. I'm not sure exactly, but something about that. So they're going to go here and here and here and here and so on. But if I combine the drivers, if I put here in Sofia one driver with no long distance skill and one driver with some long distance skill, then we are going to cover all of that area. Let's say that way. So the driver with the less skill will usually go, let's say, to Kozloduy, Pleven and nearby cities in any country. But one with a more long distance skill is going to cover a little bit further areas. So let's say if you have 3 drivers with 3 different long distance driving skills, then they're going to cover, let's say, kind of a more area. One is going to cover a nearer area, another one is going to cover a little bit further area, and the one with the best skill is going to cover even further area. Now, that doesn't actually matter for the game much. I mean, like, it really doesn't matter a lot. But I simply like, when I have a garage in some city, I like to cover as much territory as possible. So I like to cover nearby cities. Somebody who will always go to nearby cities. I like to have someone like that. And I like to have someone who will always go to a little bit further cities. So I simply kind of like it, that way of running a company. So I always mix, let's say, drivers with different long distance skill, and I give them instruction to learn differently long distance skill. For example, In a garage with 3 drivers, I usually have one with zero distance, with zero long distance, zero level long distance driving skill. So he's going to cover everything that's within 250 km. One with the level 1, so he's going to cover everything that's 350 km, and another one with 2, with level 2 of long distance driving skill, so he gets to cover a little more. I like to organize company like that because I simply think I have a better coverage like that. I like it. I simply like it, that way of running. It doesn't matter much for the game really, and it's probably even a little bit more expensive for me that way, because a few drivers are going to deliver, let's say, more cargoes, but at a less distance. It's probably going to cost me a little more money, but I will simply run this company like that as well. So for now, let's actually leave some of these drivers to drive nearby. So Yuri, he's going to have a 0 long distance skill, so let's give him ADR back. And Donald will learn some long distance first, so we cover, let's say, complete area, nearby area, and further area with drivers, because when they have bigger skill they tend to go further, like always. I think it's the way the game runs. Alright, not always, but usually they will. Sometimes they will take something shorter because they maybe couldn't find a better job or something. Alright, now let's actually pick up some job. We can go to job market here, but we don't have to take quick jobs anymore, because you take a quick job if you don't have your own truck. So get hired as a professional driver, no fuss, everything is provided for, right? We are going to go to freight market, so we are going to pick up this one, earning money driving cargoes, trailers, but with your own truck. And we are located in Plovdiv, so we are going to pick up something from Plovdiv, because when you didn't have your own truck, you can pick up anything from anywhere and you just kind of appear there and drive from there. But when you have your own truck, it doesn't work that way. Where is your truck? You have to pick up job there, or you will have to manually travel to another city and pick up job there, which is kind of really not a good idea, as you're going to spend a lot of time driving empty and fuel and everything. So with my own truck, I always pick up, let's say, cargoes from the city I am, or something that's really near. I don't go very far away from there. And also, these job offers have expiration dates. So if you want to travel, let's say, far away to pick up some good job, you have to take care about the time the job lasts. Maybe the job will not be available for you once you arrive there. That's the thing. So let's pick up something that's best from Plovdiv and hopefully go to some new city. Like, I don't want to go to these cities again. I've discovered already Karlovo, Pierdop, Sofia. I mean, we will go there at some point again, but why go now while we have new cities to discover yet? So let's pick up something new. Plovdiv to Tarnovo. Tarnovo is already discovered, as you see. Plovdiv to Sofia. We already discovered Sofia too. But we actually have no choice. We have to pick up something that goes to some city we already discovered. Okay, let's see what good we can pick up. So, used packaging from Plovdiv to Tarnovo. This one. I don't know. Let's go to Tarnovo, because from Tarnovo we might get the chance to go, let's say, to Varna or Burgas, or to Turkey or Romania here, Constanza near Black Sea. But if I go to Sofia, less chance that I will go to something undiscovered, because everything near Sofia we kind of discovered, except Pernik, okay. So let's go to Tarnovo. Let's take this one. So set GPS to destination. I'm going to pick this job up and go. A little bit of coffee. Alright, so as you see, we're starting in our own garage, the small one, the first one you get, and the kind of the garage of a kind you cannot ever buy in a game, so I like to preserve it, save it. I never want to upgrade it. because it's the only one like that you can have. So I just kind of leave it as it is. Now I told before that I want my trucks to be painted yellow or green, but well, when I played the game last time, I had a green truck, so I don't want to choose green again. I didn't record that when I just played it. Now I want to have my trucks painted yellow, but not the default yellow that is provided for this truck, but some custom yellow, which is a little bit more expensive than this color. So for now it's cheaper to just choose some default color while we really desperately need the money. And later, once I have a little bit more money and can relax with it, I will actually customly paint my trucks in some fancy darker yellow shade, or something else may be offered in all those DLCs. But for now it's a little bit cheaper to have a truck painted in just a offered pre-custom colors. And honestly I chose red because I liked it best this time of these pre-customized colors. I never had a red truck in this game, so that's the reason I pick up red. It's cheaper for now, and I never had this kind of red Iveco before, so kind of cool. Later I'm going to paint them yellow, but not a lemon yellow, light yellow as it's offered in pre-customed, but something different yellow which is expensive for me now to buy. For now let's just stick with red. Okay. Now I didn't show you that you can customize trailer. You can actually choose how your trailer will look like. A small variation in look, let's say from some DLC before, but I will show you that in the next job. Where is the trailer we need to pick up? Now, speaking of my English skills, I'm not a native speaker, as you can probably hear and notice, so I apologize if I make any grammar mistakes. I don't speak English like natively and every day, so sorry for a little bit of mistakes. And speaking of English, I do have a little sponsorship deal I can tell you about. If you want to improve English and speak better, let's say, than me, you can sign up for a class on itutorgroup.com, a Chinese company based in Shanghai that teaches English. Mainly, they teach English to Chinese and Japanese students, and learning English is really popular in China and Japan. So, if you don't want to learn English, you can also be a teacher. If you need a little bit more income, you can teach English at iTutor Group. Click in the link below in description for more details and to apply. And you can also choose to work full-time, part-time. You can have completely flexible work schedule, and that will simply provide you with a little bit more additional income, or even a full-time job if you want. So, if you're interested in working as an English teacher, click in the link below to apply to itutorgroup.com. And also, what more did I want to say? I forgot. Never mind. So, if you want to teach English to Chinese and Japanese learners, click in the link in the description to apply for a teaching position. After that, company will might contact you, and help you book an interview and fulfill other requirements at their website. Now, yes, what I wanted more to say. Requirements. Now, you need to be 18 or older in order to apply, to qualify. And also, you need to be either native speaker or to have a really, you don't have to be native, but you need to have a high English proficiency, high level of English knowledge, such as let's say C1 to apply. And you also need a web camera and a headset and quiet working environment. So uh, teachers teach from a let's say convenience of their own let's say quiet rooms. So if you're interested in earning a little bit more money and teaching English to Asian students, apply, click to the link in the description and apply to it. Thank you. That's it. It was a little bit too long, too awkward, I think, but it's my first time ever, like, telling you about a sponsorship I have. It's my first time I have a sponsorship, so I know it's a little bit awkward the way I said it, but I hope it's going to improve in future. Come on, where are you going, man? Okay. So we picked up used packaging, right? Or used plastic, something. Come on! Used packaging, and we are transferring used packaging to Veliko Tarnovo from Plovdiv. Now it's the route we've driven before. We've driven through before, but nothing better was offered to us at the moment. So here we go. Now here's the interior of my own Iveco truck in a game. I just bought a basic setup with nothing fancy. First, I didn't have a level for it. Second, I didn't have, well, I had, but I didn't want to spend money on it. So just a basic cabin setup, basic skin, no any decorations as you see. So no little flags, no any toys around here, no bags, no laptops, nothing. Just a plain truck. Honestly, I don't really like how this texture, this interior textile material of a Iveco truck looks like. But, well, it simply looks basic, just as I bought it. So look at this. Look at this textile. It doesn't really look nice. Somebody would like it, but I don't like it very much. But for the price we paid, that's the best you can get. So I'm happy about this thing for now. And of course, later I'm going to... Oh, sorry. I'm talking and looking at the textures too much. Don't pay attention to the turns. Here we go. So next time when I buy truck, I'm going to buy something else. As I told you, Iveco isn't really my favorite in-game brand. I'm more like, I like more, let's say, Swedes or Germans. I like MAN, I like Mercedes, I like Scania. But this is the best option for now, as it's the cheapest one. I actually dedicated a whole 1 hour video just choosing and buying trucks in the beginning of the game. So you can buy a little more for a little less money and have a little easier start. Now these are things, I'm showing all these things as, I don't know, as this game is played first time by somebody on internet. But I simply play this, let's say, this DLC for first time, and I'm recording something for internet for the first time. So I kind of want to show everything to someone as he would play the game for the first time. That's it. Anything hardcore players already know, you can of course skip and let's say see something that is more interesting to you. So I just like to explain it. I actually told myself I will explain everything in the game as I'm explaining to somebody who's playing for the first time, and simply ones who are playing the game for the first time, they hopefully will appreciate it, right? And ones who don't play a game for the first time and find a lots of the content like boring or too basic, you can just like move it forward and skip it, which is something technology enables, right? So I think this is I thought this is maybe the best way to do it, to record a video like a tutorial for somebody who's playing for the first time. Of course, I will leave a comment section enabled, so anything you liked or didn't like, you can tell me about it, and I will work on it to improve it, to make it better. So no hard feelings there. As you see, we still didn't even leave the city. This is something I talked before in a first or second video. In the newer DLCs of this game, cities are kind of made in a more detailed way, which is really nice eye candy and really nice thing if you like it, if you like to look around and drive slowly and drive through a traffic and lots of traffic lights. But sometimes, you know, when you're not first time player, when you've been playing for a long time, when you simply want to deliver something quickly and earn money, it can be a little bit boring, because in the let's say core game without DLCs, those cities industrial areas are simply very easy to access and really easy to leave. You can simply just go to the city for a few minutes, 2, 3, 5 minutes, pick up the cargo you want and simply leave in the same way, 2, 3, 4 minutes. But here in newer DLCs, if you get to the highway from a city in 10 minutes, you're lucky. Now from Plovdiv we even need like 15 or something. And we're driving through this area again, we already did. But only me talking differently. Talking different things, saying different things. Alright. Oh, here we are. We are on a highway, we can drive 90. Alright. Let's go to the first person view. And let's relax and drive around. Now I hope when we arrive to Veliko Tarnovo, we are going to be able to pick up some job that will take us to the new city. Because I really don't want to drive the same routes all over again, when there are plenty of new ones to discover and to drive through, especially for the recorded video that somebody will be watching. Now, one thing I don't like about this basic Iveco, it's a basic truck. I didn't buy any powerful engine, anything. I didn't buy anything powerful with it. Just a basic, just a let's say starting setup, starting cheapest setup. And as you see, it really needs a lot of time to get up to the speed, right? When we've driven those borrowed trucks from other delivery companies, you noticed how quickly they get to 90, even maybe a little more. But this one, look, I'm just on a gas pedal all the time, and it's still at 85, 86. It just cannot reach 90 very quickly. That's the thing. That's the one thing I don't really like about it. But it's the cheapest truck in the game, so that's a trade-off you have to deal with. I think other trucks, if you buy some other trucks that are a little bit more powerful, they don't behave so much in that way. I think they behave a little bit more responsive, a little bit quicker. But I'm actually not sure. I don't remember. I played this game few times before, and there's been a long time. I've been playing it the last time. But this one also will take us. This one also will take us anywhere we want, so it's kind of okay. And we bought the cheapest trucks for now because we want to afford few more trucks very soon. So look at me, I have a 68,000 left after buying garage and two trucks. So in just a few deliveries, like maybe 7, 8, I'm going to be able to buy one more truck and let's say enable the company to grow quicker. That's the point. Now when you get to the point when you buy like 10 new trucks, when you have your own truck and you have 10 more drivers and 10 more trucks, at that point gathering money for a new truck gets quicker, it gets easier. I mean, like in just a few deliveries, 3 to 4 deliveries, others will gather enough money for you so you can actually get a new truck already. So as you get bigger and bigger, as you get to that first 10 trucks you buy, after that collecting more money really gets easier. It's not really difficult. So when we have like 3 or 4 garages and 10 to 12 trucks, that's the point where we can play with that we can, let's say, get a little bit more relaxed with money, with garages, with truck customizations, with truck upgrades and so on. But I told that before in a video that upgrading the trucks that other drivers will use in a game is pretty much unnecessary, as drivers simply use any truck you give them, even a basic Iveco or let's say $300,000 upgraded Scania or whatever. They simply use it in the same way. They drive same cargoes, they go same places, mm, they do it at the same frequency, that they're not quicker or slower. At least that's what I've noticed. Now tell me in the comment section if you noticed something different, because I really haven't. I was observing, let's say, a driver who has Iveco basic truck. He does one thing, and I gave the same driver in the same garage much better truck. It was like 250,000 upgraded Scania truck, and he simply used it in a completely same way. So I really don't see the point of buying very expensive, heavily upgraded truck and just give it to your driver. Of course, it's if you're going to burn money like that, burn it on your truck. You can customize lots of things. That's the one fun part of the game. So I recommend anything you want to customize and play with money and with the cabin and so on. Do it do it firstly on your own truck. And then at the point where you really have lots of money and when it's really not a problem to buy a new truck or something, or you can do it quickly, then you can, let's say, play with their trucks a little bit more. But burning a lot of money to heavily upgrade other drivers' trucks, something I really wouldn't recommend. And it also might be something that developers of the game could improve in the future. So guys, you can maybe I mean developers, you can maybe make some mechanism, a little bit, not heavily, let's say, so the other drivers can have some kind of use of upgraded trucks. Either maybe they feel better, they rest a little bit more quickly, they get tired slowly, or they deliver things a bit quicker, or I don't know, just an idea. Of course, I wouldn't change there anything a lot because I think the game is pretty well balanced as it is. So adding some kind of a completely new mechanism that will make a game, let's say, too different than it already is, wouldn't be a good idea. But just finding some way, some minor maybe way, into other drivers have some kind of use for more upgraded truck versus less upgraded truck. maybe let's say drivers have a eco driving skill of, or if truck have a more eco-friendly engine, maybe you can get some subsidies or discounts or things like that. So making the upgrading a truck worthwhile for other drivers. Now, one thing I like to play when I upgrade my trucks, of course, I like to give them common color because we are like a company, and our fleet, let's say, has more or less uniform look, right? I also like to play with the interior a little bit, so I like to give like a phone in every truck, or a wallet, or some kind of thing that might be useful for a driver. I mean, I say useful, like not really in-game useful. It's just look, you imagine it's kind of useful, so put something interesting there. That's it. I mean, a little bit of imagination is also a part of the game. So I like to find some uniformed way of customizing interior of a truck, not only exterior. That's what I wanted to say. Now we're nearing our destination, Veliko Tarnovo, and from there I really hope we're going to take some job that will take us to some other new city, which we haven't visited in this series of videos. I hope for it. Veliko Tarnovo. Now they really improved here a look of all those cities you get to see for longer than before, because in a core game cities were easier to access and smaller, let's say, on a map here. But also the thing I didn't like about that is they kind of looked all one in the same way. When you visit one city, you have basically seen what all other cities look like. The differences were kind of much less obvious than in these new DLCs. In these new DLCs, where you have more of a city to watch while you're driving around, uh, all of these destinations you visit actually look much more different from each other, much more distinct. So that's probably the thing developers had in mind when they started making cities more elaborate. They probably thought, oh, let's make all these destinations look a bit more distinct from each other. Hence, the game will be more interesting that way. Because, it's a kind of game where you mostly see just the one and a similar thing. You see the road ahead of you and other traffic, which for lots of players, let's say, for lots of video game players, wouldn't be really so interesting thing to watch all the time. So that's why they made these cities larger and more detailed and more distinct from each other than before, which is one nice thing about bigger cities. I generally like the concept. I like the cities are bigger, and let's say they have more road to drive through and so on. It's just that I sometimes it can be a little bit too much, but generally it's a great thing. I mean, you don't want all of them look the same, right? That will be boring. Sport lift. Pallet truck manufacturer. Okay. I actually don't know if there are any pallet truck manufacturers in Bulgaria. I have no idea. here we are. We delivered our cargo to Balkan Loco. Forklift to Balkan Loco. Alright, let's deliver this thing. Let's not bother with parking it around. You don't get much experience or bonus that way, but you waste a lot of time. It depends on experience. If you're a better driver, you're not going to waste so much time. So let's see what new we've got here. Let's pick up another job quickly. Actually, let's do a game save first. After every delivery, I do the game save, and even more often than that when I'm not recording. So when I played before, I was saving game actually much more often than I do now. Now I'm saving the game after every delivery, and before I used to save the game like 2-3 times during one job. But I don't know, it's not really necessary. So let's see what we've got. Something that will bring us to Varna, a new city, that's what we want. And it's a Balkan Loco, we don't have to travel around the city so much to pick it up. Good. One other thing we've got is something that will take us to Krajnova, and as you see, we've already been that path, so no. And something that will shortly take us to Bucharest. This is not a really long haul, but we're going to have to go through border pass and inspections and all of that thing, which I'm not really in the mood right now, and also we've been this path before. And the same thing from Bucharest, something else, brake pads, lemonade. Well, choice is pretty clear. Destination, I don't know, let's choose a price per distance or something. Okay. So it's the cheapest one, price per distance, but it's a new road. Let's just pick that up for the sake of the video. Alright. Now let's actually change the look of the trailer, as I was telling you before. I will show you. So the default look that was offered in the job is... which one is default? Huh? Oh, this one. So this one was shown as a default. But you can choose something else. It's not really a big deal. It's just a minor change in the look of the trailer. Sometimes changes are a little bit more obvious, but not today, obviously. One good thing when you are driving in Scandinavia, as it seems you can drive a double trailer only there and nowhere else. Now you can in Scandinavia sometimes pick to take a smaller trailer or a bigger one. And the good thing about it is the bigger one is you get to pay more for it, and the smaller one you get to pay less. So if it says job is worth 3,000, yes, for that given trailer, but if you choose smaller one, you will be paid less. If you choose bigger one, you will be paid more. But I think it only works in Scandinavia. So that kind of choice of a trailer choice by size is only given you when you're driving in Scandinavia, such as Sweden, Norway, Finland, Denmark, and so on. I'm not sure that is option in any other part of Europe in a game. And as you see, all of these trailers basically look the same. So let's pick any, I don't know, let's pick this one, Chrome Dry-Liner. Okay. Yeah, same amount of money because the trailers are of the same size. The difference is purely aesthetical. Alright, so let's take this job, which was in this same company. Luckily, we didn't have to travel a lot to get it. Actually, this is where the bird's view gets very useful. I don't know for you, but for me it's much easier to, let's say, position myself for picking up the trailer like this than in any other look. Of course, somebody who's playing a hardcore might say that it's kind of cheating, you're not supposed to use that when you're, let's say, playing this simulation and so on. But as I told you before, I'm playing it in arcade way. I'm using my mouse and keyboard. I don't use the pedals and the steering wheel and so on. And I changed the look of the camera. Let's say, first person look, third person look, bird's view sometimes. So I'm not really interested in simulation part a lot. Just in that arcade part of building your own company, customizing truck, and so on. And that's the very nice thing about this game, as you can actually play it, customize it in different ways. So people who like hardcore simulation of truck driving can really enjoy the game, but also everybody else who wouldn't like, let's say, so much of detailed simulation, just like to play it in some simpler, more arcade way, could also enjoy the game. I think that's a really good thing about the game. Now, since this is a new route, let's actually see on a GPS, can we or should we, let's say, adjust our route so we pass by new undiscovered places. Let's see. New undiscovered places are only present in a city, so along the way they're non-present. We don't have to look here, so you never have a secret locations in the middle of the road, right? But you do have some companies that are further away from cities, such as maybe quarry companies or sand excavation companies or mines. They're not really in the city's industrial area, but a little bit further than that, just like in a real life, basically. As you see in Varna, we have now any undiscovered secret location, such as a employment agency or a truck dealer. So let's just go the default pre-defined route, as it's usually the closest one and the best one. I only adjust my routes if I want to, let's say, pass through some new city or pass by some secret undiscovered locations, which is something I always like to do when I go to a new city. I never want to like leave it for later, as later I actually forget which undiscovered locations I still have to discover. But it's easier to track it when you have undiscovered city, everything in there is undiscovered, so it's easier simply to track it that way. And when I discover city, I know everything there to discover is discovered, so I don't have to go there again for discovering something new purposes, right? That's why I like to visit all new locations in the city once I arrive there. It simply make it easier for me to track what I discovered and what I'm not. And I think it makes a delivery a little bit more interesting and challenging than by default. You have to adjust your route a little bit and so on. So a little bit, maybe a little bit more interesting. So Balkan Loco working again, and we are visiting the new destination. Now, a few more things you have to pay attention to when you are, let's say, driving your own truck, but not pre-owned company's trucks, is you have to pay attention to the rest time. This on a navigation device, this blue bed icon in upper part of the device of the screen shows you that you are really tired as a driver and you need to stop somewhere to sleep, which wasn't the case as a quick job delivery, because everything is preset. Like you are rested, delivery time is preset, you have enough time to deliver everything. You don't even have to buy a fuel, you have enough fuel for the deliver. Now here you need to pay attention to when are you going to sleep and where, and you need to pay attention to the fuel. So our driver, Salaya, right, he's very tired, and we can go to sleep here, this little bed icon by the road. So that's a, let's say, a parking lot by the road. You can go to and park around and sleep in your own bed in the truck cabin. Or we can actually go to the next available place for sleeping, which is at the gas station. So the green one is a gas station, and usually most of them, if not all of them, have a little parking lot where you can park and sleep. But since our driver is pretty tired, I'm going to probably sleep here Why? Because if you are driving tired, you're going to get fined for avoiding rest, because truck drivers actually, as a truck driver, it's really important to have a rest time and drive time at, you know, at a certain amounts. And also you will, this driver will be like dozing, blacking out and so on, closing his eyes. So they made it in a game when he's sleepy. He just, let's say, everything gets dark and you cannot control your truck at that point, and then you can hit something and, you know, make a damage or damage something and so on. So it's simply better to rest when the resting place is available and when you're fully tired. You have no need to rest any other time unless you're fully tired. So let's actually do a little bit of sleeping here. Turn off the truck and sleep. When the icon gets red, that's the time you really have to rest, because he's going to start dozing and getting fines for avoiding sleep. And as you see now, the icon is gray, the bad icon, which means the driver is completely rested. Alright, very, very well. So let's continue our journey. Let's see how much fuel do we have. Not light, but fuel. Oh, our truck is almost full. Actually, you don't have to refuel truck very, very often. I really think that one fuel tank lasts you pretty much long time, like 2, 3 longer deliveries. I don't know, for it says here you can drive on this full tank like 2,300 kilometers with a trailer. Without a trailer, you can drive even more, like twice as more, because you have a less load on your engine, right? So since we're driving these deliveries that are 200-300 kilometers, we can go like 8 to 10 of them with only one fuel tank. So we don't have to worry too much about the fuel in the beginning of the game. Now, as you've seen at the start of this video, we had about 68,000 euros. Our company had about 68,000 euros. But now, as you see in the navigation device in the right corner, our company has about 75,000 euros. Now, that's the money that I earned from the one delivery I had, about 3,000, and the rest of it is the money our workers, other drivers earned. And I'm going to review that actually when we complete this delivery. So when we complete delivery, I'm going to review what my other workers did and have they gained a level, because when they gain a level or finish something, a letters pop up here, a notification that tells you what happened. But honestly, when you're driving and looking, when you have your eyes on a road, you don't always pay attention to every message that appears down there. So I have seen some messages, some jobs were completed, but I really haven't paid all of that much attention. So I don't know, did they gain a level or they did not, or what happened. But I will review what they've done so far in this in-game day or two once I complete this delivery. Of course, we can just press a we can just press the my menu button and review it right now, so I can see right now what drivers did. But I usually don't like to do that in the middle of the road. It's a little bit unreal. I mean, who would review anything like that while he's in the middle of the road? So I usually like to do it when I complete delivery and getting ready for a new job and so on. So I just check what other drivers did then. So let's not check it right now. Let's check it when we complete this delivery. It's a little bit more natural. I mean, why would we stop the journey right now just to check what other drivers did? Let's just do that when we sit quietly in our truck on a parking lot. As you see, this place isn't very far away, just 100 and something kilometers, and it's a night time, so not much to see around. But it seems so far that it's just a forest, nothing special. Alright. So again, one more time, a sponsorship I had, I22 Group, Chinese company, can, let's say, help you increase your income if you want to teach English to Chinese and Japanese students, part-time or full-time or flexible schedule. Click in the link below in the description and apply for an English teaching working position if you're interested. Requirements are 18 years or older, native English speaking ability or non-native English speaking ability if you are good with English, like B2 or C1 level at least. And if you want to work, and if you want to work with children and with grown-ups, different ages completely, click in the link below for it. Thank you. I don't know what else to say. Just if you want to teach part-time, full-time, earn a little bit more money, click there. That's it. You teach English to Chinese and Japanese students. Everything else will be, let's say, told you or shown you. Once you click the link, you can follow all other instructions there. And it's a legit company, or everything is legit, so it's fine. I actually have few friends who work for a company, for I22 Group company, in the link below in the description, and they're actually pretty happy with it. The job isn't hard. It can be also very interesting and funny, and you can have a flexible working hours or part-time, which is really, really nice for some additional income if you already have a full-time job, or if you just want to work a little bit for a pocket money or something. So very convenient. You work from your home, you don't have to commute. You just need a room, and a room which is not noisy, and just a little bit of the standard equipment, computer with Windows or Mac operating system, headset, web camera. Basically that's it. Oh yeah, one more requirement is higher education, college or university degree of any kind. So you don't have to have an English degree. You can have degree in anything you want, medicine, engineering, whatever. So then you can get hired. If you don't have a higher degree, you don't have to even try. They just turn down that quickly. So that's one more requirement for I22 Group, to have a higher, uh, higher education. College, university, things like that, of any kind, really. Now here we are in Varna. Varna discovered. And here we have a big commercials over there. Techniker, Discountera, and Bone. Oh, okay. Big parking lot and a supermarket over here. Technicara, right? Why they didn't make these companies companies we can drive for? I mean, why couldn't I go to Technicara and drive their cargo? Okay. So developers, if you put a supermarket in a game, make it playable for the player. Make player able to deliver them cargo and pick up cargo from them. Why wouldn't you do that? Just like in the Scandinavia, where we have Nordic foods or something. Or the car dealerships and motorbike dealerships and so on. Now Petrin really reminds me by the name of a Romanian petrol company. I'm not going to name it, of course, but the name is kind of similar, even colors a little bit. So I guess the Romanian petrol company is the inspiration for Petrin. Here we are, closing to our destination. Radus company, shipping company, I guess. damage. Good. What just happened? I hope everything is being. Ah! Come on! Alright, now sorry for that. It's just antivirus software offers me a discount for for renewing my contract and so on. So I'm really sorry for it. I had to turn it off. It really wasn't part of the sponsorship or anything. It was just an accident. Speaking of sponsorship, again, if you want to earn a little bit more money, if you know English as a native or non-native speaker, but you are very good with it, if you have a higher education degree, and if you're 18 years or older, you can click in the link below in the description to teach English to Japanese and Chinese students, let's say, and earn a little bit more income for your household. You can work it full-time or part-time, completely flexible schedule, pretty convenient thing, pretty nice thing. And we are nearing the destination of a delivery of this cargo. Come on, open the gate. Here you go. And of course, click a subscribe and like button if you like this video. Comment in a video anything you like or didn't so we can improve it here, make it better. And thank you very much for watching. One more thing before we finish the video, let's just see what did other drivers do before we finish, before we, let's say, end this episode. So Yeri, let's see what did he do. Where can we, oh, show a log, here it is. So the Donald T, look at the name Donald T, he delivered what? Barley, seedlings, empty pallets from Sofia, Krynova, Sofia, and earned this much money today on his second day of work, I guess, or second day of game, no, of his work. Okay, and what did Yeri, or Jiri, but I think it's Yeri did, right? Nobody got the new level. No, he didn't get the long distance, he didn't get the ADR, so no new levels. Show a log. He delivered something bigger, bottled water from Sofia to Kozloduy, and returned empty, which cost us, of course, fuel and time. That's why it's a minus. So that's it. Again, click in the links in the description down below if you like the video, and subscribe it. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next episode. Bye.